Hey y'all, it's been a while since I showed you my garden, so I thought I'd take you for a little walk out in my garden. It is kind of sucky this year, and I'll kind of explain as I go, but thank God for my wife and daughter, they've helped a lot on it. But we're falling behind, but here, let me take you a walk through and show you where it's at. Now overall, looks of the garden, it looks pretty decent, huh? But let me take you through and show you my failures, some of my success. Now, this is a zucchini. And yeah, I do need to pick another one. I see one right there. Let's see if we can zoom in on it. You see it there? I don't, but I know I'm pointing right at it. I don't know. We'll see if it shows up. This plant will get quite a bit bigger, and it's doing good. And here's another zucchini plant, and it's doing good. Now, mind you, this was all weeds that got way behind. Here's my potato hill. And behind this is the tomato. And over here is the tomato plants. Now, when I got these tomatoes, it said that they didn't need to be staked up or anything. But as you can see, they're falling on over. Well, I shouldn't have listened. I should have staked them on up. But hey, they're still doing good. Here, let's show you the tomatoes. We are loaded with tomatoes in here. I don't know, can you see them all? I don't know, I've got glare on my screen, so I'm not really seeing all the tomatoes here. See here, where's my hand? There's a whole bunch of them right on in through here. Let's see here. Over through here. All down through here. You know, I got tomatoes everywhere. Now, I want to point something on out. These tomato plants, over here is a whole bunch more. And you see all those? That's all on the same tomato plant. A whole bunch on this one over here. Tomatoes up in here. You look at how pathetic this plant looks, and you look at all the tomatoes right here. How pathetic this plant looks, and look at all the tomatoes I'm getting. I'm leading up to something, folks. Over here, got some more tomatoes here. Then you start looking at over here, and these plants look really healthy. They aren't staked up, but they look really healthy. If you want a really beautiful tomato plant, you can grow a really beautiful tomato plant. The plant will look really sharp. You look at this. I have hardly any tomatoes on this beautiful plant. It's nice and green and perky and everything, but very few tomatoes. The question is, do you want to grow a tomato plant, or do you want to grow tomatoes? Well, you want healthy plants, but you also want to produce some tomatoes if you're gardening. So take that for what you want. But here, let's go over to the cucumber yard. Over here, you're going to see my cucumbers are overran with weeds. Weeds, weeds, weeds. And by the way, folks, I am a master at growing weeds. My tomato plants are not doing real good. They're not doing bad. And a lot of the problem here is the watering. I have not been consistent on my watering. And over here, can you see the tomato plants and the weeding in amongst the weeds? I told you I'm a master at growing weeds. But there's a lot of tomato plants and tomatoes growing on in here. Show you my potato hill. Well, it's not much of a potato hill, but it's doing. One thing I got to do today is I got to clip off these flowers. I don't want it to flower. I want the flowers out of here. I want the energy to be going into the plants, not to the seeds. Here's my yellow crookneck. And you can see back in here, I'm getting a lot, and last night I harvested a bunch of yellow crookneck already. You can see all through here. Got quite a few in here still. And here's my other yellow crookneck. And it's doing pretty good. There's some squash in here. But all in all, if we back up, You can see this one plant here on the right. It's quite a bit smaller than the one on the left. They're both doing good, but they're kind of behind because my watering practices have not been all that great this year. This plant right here was really looking droopy the last 2 days because I didn't water these plants for 3 days. Well, now they seem to have picked up pretty good. Now let's talk about the habanero peppers. All these habanero peppers right through here, they're pretty wimpy looking. All through here. You know, these ones here aren't really good. But these ones over here, look at these habaneros over here. Can you see the difference in the size of that? And these here, and these over here. Well, what happened was the weeds had really taken over this, and we weeded this. My wife weeded all this part out first. And that allowed these plants to take off. And these ones that are doing wimpy over here, well, it was a while before she got everything weeded on out. They're still going, but the weeds were choking them out pretty bad. And this is the Carolina Reaper, the only one that I have left. Now, mind you, I had about 40 habaneros. I got, what, 15 left? I had about, I think, about 15 of these Carolina Reapers. This is the last one left. I'm probably going to transplant this fall and bring it inside or put it in the greenhouse if I get it done in time. Because it's going to take a lot longer for me to get any peppers out of this. We're going to have to play that by ear. Because, by God, this is my last one, and I want to get some more seeds. But you can see it's doing good, even though it's only about 4 inches tall at this time, unlike my habaneros over there that are about a foot and a half tall. Here I have my pole beans and my corn. Yeah, there you can see the corn tops. And here I got a hoop deal for the green beans to grow up on over, and then some more green beans and corn over here. Completely full of weeds. I had all sorts of intentions of staking things on up a little bit better and keeping this weeded patch, and we still haven't got caught up with the weeds in all of this. It's a nightmare. My pole beans are growing on out more like bush beans, nothing to climb up on. And I knew that I needed to get some more support and keep that weeded on out, but I didn't. And this arbor thing that I got, just a wire mesh for concrete, I had meant to secure it and stake it on up. Now I'm afraid if I try to prop it on back on up to height and stuff, it'll start pulling up the green beans out by the roots down below. So I probably won't do anything with that. But I'm still going to get a lot of green beans out of it. It's just not the scenario that a real gardener would want. I mean, this is how lousy I've taken care of it, is over here. Now you probably can't see. Yeah, you can kind of see the deer fencing that I have up. I got the green beans growing 2 foot away from the corn, going clear on over there and climbing up to the top of the fence. That's not what I had in mind. So y'all can see I really need to work on my gardening practices on out here. Oh, there's one more thing I got to show you over here. That's my sugar peas. And because of my watering practices, my sugar peas weren't worth a... Yeah, I ain't going to say the word. But anyway, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and yank them on out. I did get some sugar peas out of it. I've eaten some. But you can see over here. Let's see if I can zoom you on in. Let's see here. Sorry about the shaking. Yeah, there you can see a clump of the sugar peas. But too much work. I'm never going to grow peas again. I do like them. I love peas in the pod. I might try some in a few more years again, but I'm pretty disappointed with them, all in all. So that's my garden. And that's where we're at today with it. Now I got to get off of here, and I got to get back to watering the garden, and maybe even doing a little bit of weeding. But I got some other stuff I got to get onto too. Y'all come back now, yeah. Bye.